$29. As an added bonus, we are including the rest of college football regular season for free, a $69 value. Just go to WagerTalk or sportsmemo.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and lock them in through the national championship.
Teddy covers the Prez. Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today, and I'm in an outstanding mood today, Teddy. Rode the Peloton, likely going to sweat throughout the show because I just got off of it. Dave Cokin, right off the top, dude. College football, Boise State, San Jose State, Missouri versus Mississippi State, Ole Miss versus LSU, and why leave it at college football? Gianni the Greek after. NFL. We're talking Carolina and Green Bay, the Titans versus the Lions. And, we got Gianni on, man. We got to delve into some UFC. Rob Font versus Morales. And then, Ralph, at the end of the show, your big game breakdown. What is it going to be?
Thursday night NFL. Tonight, the Raiders and the Chargers. We'll break that down later in the show. And what else we got, Prez? Isn't that enough for an hour? We're going to have an hour.
We got our lead story. Our lead story, dude. Before we get, you know what? Let's get straight into our lead story because that's probably what you want. Harden is back. LeBron and Ant back for the Lakers. And the season starts next week. Dude, do you bet the preseason? Does it matter? I know in NFL, there's a lot of value to be made in betting the preseason. The coaches literally get up to the mic and tell you their game plan. Yeah, we're going to put up 3 points. Then we're going to not do another thing. What about the NBA? You take advantage of the preseason in the NBA?
I don't do anything in the preseason in the NBA. And here's why. Okay, all right. LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Oh, you're going to be on the floor tonight for the Lakers. When you watch that game, the back half of the fourth quarter, literally, it's much like an NFL preseason game where in the fourth quarter, you're not going to see anyone on the field who's going to make the roster. I don't know if, you got the D-League guys, you got the guys who are looking for the 15th spot, and those are the guys on the floor during crunch time. Now, in the NFL, one of the reasons we love betting the NFL preseason is because points are scored in 3s and 7s. So when you have a big lead in a preseason game and you've had your starters on the field against their backups or your backups on the field against their fourth stringers, you have a legitimate edge that's likely to hold. But in the NBA preseason, as in hoops in general, when you have a 20-point lead in the NBA, it can be gone like this. Much easier than in football. The leads don't hold, and the rotations in the fourth quarter aren't guys you necessarily want to be betting on. So when it comes to NBA preseason action, I follow. But betting standpoint, hey, we got real games to bet on next week. I can be patient for just a few more days.
Before we bring Dave in, I just want to make a quick comment. 2 nights ago, I watched The Dawn Wall on Netflix. Guys, holy mother of God, that is absolute must watch. So I'm telling Rick, the CEO of WagerTalk, an extremely good friend of mine and a very smart, humble man. I tell him, I watched The Dawn Wall. You got to watch The Dawn Wall. It's unbelievable. It blew my mind. Rick is like, I watched it already. It's amazing, but you got to watch Free Solo. So last night I watched Free Solo. Oh, wow. Oh, I don't even have words. What the hell would possess a human being to decide to climb El Capitan, the hardest 3,000-foot granite wall on a 90-degree angle without any ropes? What the hell is... Oh, my God. Okay, calm down. Guys, there's 2 shows you got to watch. It is just... I'm freaking out over both of those shows, Teddy. Should we bring Dave Cokin in?
No, I'd rather you spend more time talking about shows that nobody else, maybe 2 people, maybe 5 people have watched that we're talking about.
So
this is a sports show, so make sure that you continue to
sorry, Dave. If you spent 1 minute in the chat room, if you spent 2 minutes reading the comments from the videos that people from our videos and the people write, thank me for these recommendations. So bugger off, Steve. Dave Cokin, how are you, brother? What's going on? How did you do this past week? And then I have a request.
All right, I have a question. I have a question for Teddy. Now, I just listened to you talking about the the preseason. Now, I don't do the NBA, so I'm not arguing with you on this. It's just a question. A lot of what I do in the NFL preseason, which I missed this year. Obviously, we all did, is based on the depth charts, and who's going to be in the game in the third and fourth quarter, because I think there's an edge there. So
There is.
would that not be something that you might factor in the NBA in looking at preseason games as the stronger back end roster?
No, because when the starters leave a football game, they're done. When the starters play in the first half of an NBA preseason game, they come back in and play another rotation in the second half. So it's not that same, all right, these guys are off the field court and you can not worry about them anymore. That doesn't, in the NBA, they'll get 2 rotations in the first half and in the second half. So it's not that
really
same nuance where, yeah.
Thank you for explaining that to me.
Chip writes, Chip writes, we're the Siskel and Ebert of sports betting. No, I might be the Siskel, but he certainly ain't the Ebert. That's for damn sure. Dave Cokin.
Aren't those guys both dead?
No, one of them is alive, I think.
They are?
No, Ebert's the bigger one is alive.
No, I don't think
they're both dead. Okay, they're both dead. Listen, if I'm going to be wrong on this show, let it be on that. Dave, before we get into any of these games, everybody is talking about the college basketball video yesterday. Guys, it's Joe Ranieri's birthday again today. As you know, on WagerTalk Today, birthdays last for a while. Dave, you sang happy birthday to Joe on air, and I'm telling you, Ralph flipped out over it. Matt flipped out of it. There's people in the chat room. Dude, they say that you've got an incredible singing voice.
No, not anymore. I had a very good singing voice long time ago. But
Teddy's like in shock.
I'm strictly in 1 octave now. So hopefully I hit the right notes in that 1 octave, and that's it.
I've known Dave for close to 20 years, and I just learned something new about him. That's why I'm in shock. I never knew you were a good singer and that you were like a guy that liked to carry a tune. No idea.
Pretty good.
Joe, can you, Joe, do you have a clip? Joe, do you have a clip of that at all? You'll grab a clip
in Sinatra.
Okay, good, Joe. Let me know when you got that clip queued up. Dave, you got a 5% play in college hoops tonight. I'm guessing the first one of the season.
Yeah, it fits something that I like. I don't want my 5% plays to be close if I can help it. These are the games that I think are going to be, very decisive. And I should mention it's an extra board game. It's not in the regular rotation. It's an extra board game. But if you can get down on those, then I think this one's got a really good chance to get there.
Well, dude, I'm for sure betting it. I've been betting your 5% plays for 12 straight months now. I think you're about 71%, give or take.
No, 77% over the last 14 months on all.
Jesus, man.
The 5% plays. So, I don't have a lot of them. That's
so good.
Huge. I think it's 20, 21 and 6, something like that. 20 and 6, I think. But it's been good.
Dave, in whatever octo you sing in, regale us about Boise State and San Jose, and feel free to do it in song.
Well, no, I don't think I don't want to sing about this because San Jose State beat me last week. So I would have been singing a melancholy tune. I had Nevada, and I can't explain what Nevada's doing in the second half of these games, but we'll see how it affects them in the bowl game. I think they're playing Tulane, and we'll see about that. But San Jose State, it's a great story. What this coach has done with a program that was just horrific when he took them over. Clearly one of the 10 worst programs in the country. And here they are sitting 6-0. And this is the biggest game San Jose State has played probably in 80 years. And I'm not exaggerating. The last time they were unbeaten was 1938 or 39. And no, I wasn't there for those games. Boise is clearly superior in terms of talent. There is something about this San Jose State team, though. They just fight, and scratch, and claw, and they're very opportunistic. But generally speaking, in games of this type, championship level games, and there's a title on the line here, this is where the cream rises to the top more. And I think Boise just has a little too much talent for them. I don't think San Jose State's going down easy, but I think Boise eventually is just going to out-talent them in this game and pull away to a win by 10 to 14 points. So I don't think it'll be on my card because San Jose State is basically striking fear into me at this point. But I think Boise's the right side in this game.
Let me ask you about the line on this game, Dave, because it's been coming down. It's been inching down, and now we're looking at 6.5. There are a couple of 7s popping up. If you like Boise, is it time to lock in at 6.5 right now, or do you think it could go even lower?
No, I don't think it gets any lower because I think come game day, I do think the money, the ticket count certainly is going to be on Boise. And I think the money might accompany that to some extent. You know, let's face it, Boise's the far better known and popular program. They're at home. They're still it's somewhat of a myth at this point about their home field advantage, the blue turf. But I don't think it gets any lower than. I'd be surprised if it gets to 6.
Dave Cokin, everybody. 5% playing college basketball tonight. Make sure to get down on that. 2 more games to go, brother. Missouri -1 versus Mississippi State. 49.5 is the total. I know you don't look at totals, so I'm going to cover this side number.
I'm not sure exactly what you said because we were breaking up somewhat, but this comes down to kind of want for me. I think Missouri might want it more than Mississippi State. I think this program's headed in a nice direction with Coach Drink. This has not been a good season for Mississippi State. There's been a lot of unhappy players, a lot of defections. Leach is running what he likes to run with probably the wrong personnel. So I think while these teams power rate about even, which makes it kind of no play, if you're looking at desire, I think I'd favor Missouri in this game, and that might be enough to get them to the winner's window.
Let me ask you this about the Tigers, because last week they fought hard early against Georgia, and then they took a couple of punches, and that was the end. Do you worry about a team like Missouri on the road being unable to take a punch and unable to respond to adversity in a game like this, a season finale, or is that just one factor that's not at the top of the list? Missouri certainly it came out with great effort, and we would expect them to do that again this week. Yeah,
they did kind of wave the white flag last week, but maybe it was reality setting in. This Georgia team, now that Daniels has found his footing, well, Georgia would love to have a makeover in a couple of the games they had this season because their offense now is just spectacular. Daniels is a really good quarterback. I loved him at USC and thought this guy's going to be a future pro, and then he got hurt, and it took him a long time to get healthy again, but he is dynamite. So I'm not going to read too much into Missouri getting run over in the second half by a Georgia team that is absolutely sizzling at this point. I think they return to their own level here, and you'll see a 60-minute effort out of the Tigers.
Dave Cokin, Ole Miss, LSU. Ole Miss is favored, -2.5, 78. They expect a big scoring game. What do we do in this one?
Yeah, the odds makers going to price me out of this one. I would have loved to take Ole Miss as a dog because I think it's kind of a dead spot for LSU. Not that they're going to go out there and lay down, but I think last week's game was more important to them, and they got the win in that game, which was a real thrill for them, beating Florida. And this is a letdown spot. But the odds makers priced it in. Ole Miss has definitely made some good progress this year. Look, I know some people don't like Kiffin, but the guy knows how to win football games, and he's done a pretty good job here. And I think Ole Miss is going to continue to get better. I don't know that they've got better personnel, overall than LSU. But again, this is situational. Getting into the last week of the season, I think you got to find the team with more on the line mentally. And I'm not saying LSU is going to be checked out after last week's game, but I think they could be a little bit flat, and I don't expect Ole Miss to be flat at all. So, yeah, it's probably going to be a shootout, tons of points. I think Ole Miss scores more than LSU, but now that they're the favorite, I can't say there's much value in it.
Are you worried at all about Kiffin getting rumored for the gig at Auburn, and players worried about their coach leaving? Because certainly, if there's one coach in the SEC with a history of coming to programs and leaving quickly, it's Lane Kiffin. Are you worried about that as a potential distraction for the favorite in this one?
I don't know how much there is to it, so it's tough to say. That would be, yeah. I mean, if it's something the players are discussing behind the scenes, that would be a huge worry. I don't know if they are or not. You know, I there's some schools I have great contacts at where I can get really good information. Ole Miss isn't one of them, to be honest with you. So I can't give you anything that isn't out there publicly, and I'm not seeing anything publicly to indicate that, but it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Awesome stuff, Dave. Joe, do we have that clip queued up? No. Good. So hey, Dave, we're gonna get there, man. The clip audio isn't good.
It's not terrible. It's not terrible, but
damn, Joe
I know how
Joe just slacked.
It's not real good.
Joe just slacked me that the audio isn't good on the clip. So, Teddy, I think we got to force Dave to sing it again.
No, I'm not going to do it again.
No, there's okay. You can sing on any other show. Anybody can sing on any other show. On WagerTalk Today, this is a sing-free zone. Please.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's a sing-free zone on WagerTalk Today. Ba-da-da-do.
Yeah, Dave, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Talk again about that 5% play in that record over the last 14 months with those top-rated selections.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. So hopefully get another one. And now I have to try and get the Prez singing out of my mind. See ya.
Dave,
cheers.
I love
Dave
you, bro.
Cokin.
Thanks for giving us your time. Teddy, I take the out. Dave, thank you for giving us your time, brother. We really do love you. It's a privilege to have you part of the family. There's some hyperbole, Teddy. Get out of here, Dave. We're right back with Teddy's 6 Bs.
Have you ever checked out the expert handicappers at Sports Memo? If not, here's your chance. Right now, you can get as many handicappers as you want for the next 7 days for only $7 each per day. Even better, if you're a first-time customer, we'll credit you back $25 in wager bucks after you make your purchase. All you have to do to redeem this limited time offer is go to sportsmemo.com, choose your handicapper of your choice, use coupon code SM49 at checkout, and repeat as many times as you want until Monday Night Football kicks off.
It is time for Bad Beats, Bad Bets, and Bad for the Books. A little recap of what happened in the betting world last night, and I swear it was a repeat. Last night was a repeat of Tuesday night. Game after game, college hoops action. Of course, it's college hoops on center stage right now. Game after game, the sharp money wins. The books are paying out more than they're taking in. I swear it was the same story last night. Let's go through. Miami, Florida opened -3 against Pitt. Okay, they opened -3. They closed +5. That line moved 8 points, and Miami lost by 15. Pitt, right side winner. Everybody gets paid. San Diego, the Toreros get bet up from -5 to -8 at Cal Poly. They win by 9. Everybody gets paid betting the Toreros. Purdue, -3.5 to -7 against Ohio State. The Buckeyes, right side, they're down 5. They go for the layup instead of jacking up a 3. Is exactly what dog bettors want. But instead, he turns the ball over, and the Boilermakers win by exactly 7. All the Purdue bettors get paid. Ole Miss at Middle Tennessee. Money for the Rebels. They closed -13.5. They won by 19. Toledo Marshall. The totals are the ones that are getting steamed the worst. 148 up to 156.5. They had 160 by the end of regulation. They didn't even need the overtime. 96-87 final. Toledo Marshall flies over the total. Everybody gets paid. Arizona State UTEP. Total from 150.5 down to 146. Finished 139. Sun Devils offense got shut down. Never had a chance in that ball game. Yeah. Bettor's got a lot of games right. In the preseason, NBA preseason, The Nuggets took preseason money against the Blazers. They closed -4.5. They won by 31. Wasn't a great night for the house. Bettors did get Duke Notre Dame wrong. The Irish were bet down from +4 to +1, and they lost by 10. But that's about it. Bad beats, bad bets. No, last night was all about bad for the books. These early season college hoops selections and these sharp moves in college hoops, not something bettors want to fade. There you have it, Prez. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Let's go back to you.
Why, thank you, Teddy Covers. Outstanding stuff. I want you to do that segment in song one day, if you don't mind. Guys, I want to welcome everybody into the chat room. Rob, Mike, Jimmy, 2 Jimmys, Rora, Sebastian. I love having you guys here. Bertie, Jabril, Mike, Rob M, all of you guys. So greatly appreciated. Teddy, yesterday we flew over 65,000 subscribers for our YouTube channel. I mean, I'm smiling because, you know, I hope that a lot of you guys get to go through this in your lives. You start a business and you never know where it's going to go. I mean, 80% of these businesses that people start end up failing. It has been such an incredible journey for, you know, initially Marco and I, and then Johnny and Rick and all the people that are involved at WagerTalk. I mean, I'm like emotional. Like, at no time did I ever think that we would have, you know, 500 people logging in a day watching me and you talk sports, and, you know, 50,000 people watching Bet on It every week. You know, you got 10,000 people watching the opening line address. It's been an incredible ride, and I'm so thankful. And my partners are unbelievable to work with. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I had a mushy moment. I apologize.
Sure.
Let's bring Gianni in. The teeth. What do you want to call? I mean, the teeth. We'll call him the teeth.
The smile.
The smile. I like it. The wink. The wink. Gianni the Greek. Dude, I mean, I just went on about how great WagerTalk is doing and what an incredible journey this company has had. And I mean, you've seen it from day one. And here, right now, I mean, you are just such a key component with these wins of yours. What a freaking year you're having. I love having you on. I do want to get into something with you on that I think you'll find fascinating. But first and foremost, how are you?
Never better, baby. Never better. Coming out towards the end of the year, and things are good for me. Thank God. I'm grateful. Me and my family are well. We've had an okay year considering, and a lot of people are struggling out there, man. So it's tough to be happy for yourself when so many people are having difficult times. But try to do what I can to help some people out, help make the times a little bit better. I'm happy. You know me, Prez. I don't complain much, man. I don't come from anything. So every day is a blessing for me.
Dude, you come from your mom, and I've met her. I haven't met her. Anyway, guys, I want to tell you guys something. Then we're going to get into some sports betting talk with Gianni. Carolina, Green Bay, Titans, Lions, Rob Font versus Morales. But look, one of you guys put in the chat room, and we hear about the why do you bet parlays? I bet parlays because I don't have a big bankroll, and I want to build a big bankroll. I'm only betting $10. I'm only betting $100 on a play. How am I going to make money betting $100 on a play? I'm going to break this down for you really clear. This is freaking important. If you start your betting life with $2,000 in your bankroll, $2,000, and you bet 4% on every play for a full year, so that's $88 to win 80. Never adjust the whole year. $88 to win 80. If you hit 54%, not 55, not 60, 54%. You bet 1,000 plays a year, 4% of your bankroll, which is $80. At the end of year 5, you're at 150 grand. So don't tell me you can't build your bankroll playing straight bets. $2,000, $80, 1,000 plays. And if you adjust your bank sizing weekly, stay at 4%, but you adjust weekly, you're at $1.6 million at the end of 5 years on a $2,000 bankroll. Gianni, you want to add to that?
I'm going to make it as simple as I can. And this is coming from personal history. If you can't make money betting sports with $200, you're not going to do it with $200,000. That much I can promise you. That was the story of my life. It was, whether it was poker, blackjack, sports, the bankroll was irrelevant. It's how I worked the bankroll, what I did with it. So forget the idea of I'm going to start betting professionally when I save up $10,000. Because if you can't bet professionally with your first 500, you're not going to do it with your first 5,000. That's just the bottom line. We see it at the poker tables. You know better than me. The guys that made the millions, the guys that are playing at the highest levels are the guys that started at micro stakes and earned their way up. Nothing comes overnight. I wish I could hit 70% for you over a year so I could make it simple, but I can't, and no one can. Here's the best I can do. Over 1,000 plays, I'm going to go 550 and 450. On my best bets, I'm going to go even a little better, maybe 570 and 430. That's the best I can do, and that's more than enough to make a good living and make money betting sports.
Gianni, you want to hear something insane? If you can hit 55%,
that's it. That's
starting with a $2,000. If you can hit 55% starting with a $2,000 bankroll, and you adjust your 4% bet size yearly, at the end of year 5, you're at 700 grand. If you adjust it weekly,
money, baby, Bitcoin money.
Yeah, if you adjust it weekly, you're at $100 million in 5 years. Look, that's at 55%. Nobody's going to do those kind of numbers over 5 years. But the point I'm making is you don't need to make these stupid ass parlays. Gianni, Carolina, Green Bay. Teddy, do you want to add to that quickly?
I'd love to. Important. Thank you.
Sorry, buddy.
The key that we preach, okay, little edges over time. Patience matters in this game. And it's the same story for guys that in the first quarter, they're watching games and go, come on, tick, tick, tick. You know, Aaron Rodgers sucks. You know, you're not going to cash bets in the first quarter. You're not going to be able to triple your bankroll and quadruple your bankroll overnight. Slow and steady wins this race, and it's little edges over time. That's something that my mentor, Dave Malinsky, taught me, and I believe it to this day. And 54, 55% over an extended period will absolutely build your bankroll, but you have to be patient. And if you're not patient and you're trying to do what's supposed to take 5 years in 2 weeks, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. Guys, seriously, $50,000 bets a year, you're making millions. Gianni, let's go, brother. Carolina, Green Bay. I hand the show to you.
I'm going to make it as simple as I can. And this is just way too many points for Green Bay to be laying to a team that's more than capable of scoring points. And that's what I'm looking for in my underdog. A team, number one, that doesn't quit. We know that with Carolina throughout this entire season. And they can score some points. We've seen that as well. And finally, when this team does lose football games, they rarely get blown out. They're extremely competitive. They let that game with Tampa Bay get away from them, but they only held the football for 22, 23 minutes. That's rare for Carolina. They're getting healthier as the week progresses. This is just too many points. I took the 9. I released it to subscribers. I think it's at 8.5 or so right now. More than enough value to take the Carolina side. If you do like Green Bay, I think you should only use them in a teaser. I do think there's some value there. Green Bay at home, tease down to 2.5. I can understand the argument. But the point spread at -110, I think the plus EV side is taking Carolina with all those beautiful points.
Let me ask you this, because Aaron Rodgers had played in 4 NFC championship games. None of them have been at Lambeau Field. And with the Saints loss last week, Rodgers and the Packers are talking about, hey, this year we wanted to go through Green Bay. Maybe a little bit extra motivation. Does that matter in your handicap of this game when you're talking about not only they have to win, they got to win by more than a TD in order to catch the bet?
It would, Teddy, if this was a pick'em or Green Bay was an underdog. But the fact they're more than a touchdown favorite, they're going to go out there to try to win the football game. We already know that. The bottom line is margin. How great of a margin can they win this football game by? And whether they win by 3 or 33, the standings is the same. They're going to, advance towards that goal of home field advantage. So it doesn't scare me. Again, if it was a small spread or they were an underdog, then I'd factor that into my bet. But because they're such a big favorite, not so much.
Yeah, and if you listen to the NFL presidential address, Ralph made an awesome point. As we wind down the season, you look at teams like the Chargers, nothing to play for. Carolina, nothing to play for. Dallas, well, they have something to play for. But teams with first-year head coaches, if they have nothing to play for but they love their coach, they are going to put down a rock-solid effort.
Point.
Yeah, teams that don't love their coach, they're going to check out. Gianni, Tennessee versus the Lions. Tennessee minus 11 here. Stafford's not going to play. I don't know where the Lions' points are going to come from. I love the Titans here. I mean, I don't love laying 11, but I mean, this team's going to put up 27 minimum. They do it every week. I got to think the Titans can put up 31 here. I don't see 20 points from Detroit. Where are you going in this game?
Yeah, and it seems so square, but I bet it and I released it to subscribers and I wanted to share it here because I didn't have a chance to do so on the bet on it when we taped yesterday. Because I do think it's just a blowout situation for the Tennessee Titans. And they are that type of team that when capable, they will do it. Meaning we've seen it. They put up 31 on Jacksonville. It's not like they're pulling the foot off the gas. When they were up on Indianapolis by 2-3 touchdowns, they're still playing football. They're still trying to score. The starters are still out there. So when you get that from a young team and they're capable, and now they're playing a Detroit team that, again, it's coming off some tough divisional games. They played at Chicago and then at home to Green Bay. And now you got to go and play at Tennessee. I think it's a terrible spot for them. I think it's a great spot for Tennessee, whose schedule gets tougher. They play at Green Bay next week. Then they play at Houston. I don't think they overlook Detroit here. I think it turns into a rout in the second half and the back door gets shut because I don't think Detroit's got the offense to come back from behind. I like Tennessee in a rout.
And I like to see you talking about a game in which, hey, it might be the square side, but I think it's the right side. We spent a lot of time, but certainly there's a lot of fixation in the betting marketplace about what's the sharp side or what's the public side,
True.
as if the sharp sides never lose and the public sides never win. And that's just not the case, Gianni, is it?
You'll go broke chasing the sharp side. Number one, you're not going to get the good numbers. Number two, you're not even 100% sure what the sharp side is. And I couldn't agree with you more, Teddy. Fading the public will not make you a winning sports bettor unless you're a bookmaker getting 11-10. That's why they fade. They don't fade the public. They just have a built-in hold. That's all it is. So again, maybe 20 plus years ago when people were so less educated as far as betting goes and you could charge minus 120 instead of 110, but not today, man. I agree 100% with you, Teddy. The idea of I'm on the sharp side, fading the public side, that's all nonsense. I don't know anyone winning with that strategy in 2020.
Gianni the Greek, everyone. You can find him at WagerTalk.com. Listen, Gianni, I'm going to steal some of your thunder. UFC. I have only had 8 plays. I'm 7-1 lifetime on WagerTalk. I put up a play last night, and then I went and looked at your plays. I'd like everyone to know when purchasing the Prez's MMA play, it is Gianni approved.
I love it. I'm not supposed to bet this week. This is the last event for the UFC. I'm in a great spot where I am for the year in 2020, where my ranking is. I'm supposed to give one play and kick my feet up and enjoy this card, but I absolutely love it. And I think I bet 6 or 7 sides. And even worse, I made one a 5% play, and I think all the rest 4% plays. Because I said, dude, I think the value's there. And this is one of them I fired immediately. And that's Rob Font over Marlon Moraes. That's correct. We're going to fade Moraes here, who's a favorite. This line's dropping, but more than enough value to take Font. Number one, he's the busier fighter. Lands almost 2 significant strikes per minute more. Gets hit less. 5% higher his strike defense. And then double the takedown attempts per 15 minutes. Double the takedown success. I just think he beats Moraes everywhere except resume. Moraes has the resume and Moraes has the history. But in 2020, today, I think Rob Font is arguably the better fighter. At worst, this is a coin flip. So give me 50-50. I'll take plus 125 or better with Rob Font.
Yeah, dude, 130 is what I'm getting at in my book.
Yep.
Listen, you are the busiest guy around. Guys, you can all see Gianni on the Fight Pass UFC network. We love having you, man. It's a privilege. What a show
Thanks,
today,
man.
Teddy. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at it from my perspective. Not only do I have to learn from Cokin, a legend, Gianni, a freaking king, Ralph, the machine, I got you, baby. And you are as good as they get too, Teddy. What a show! Let's take a quick break. Gianni, promote something.
Have a great holiday season. Stay safe. And if you have a little extra, $1 here right now at Foursquare, they are doubling your donation. $1 usually feeds 3 people. Now they're matching it. $1 feeds 6 people. So if you're going to order out tonight, man, save that money. Make a macaroni and cheese. Make a sandwich. Give $10. You're going to feed 60 people, man. It's tough times right now. Food banks, lines are long. That's what I want to promote. It's that holiday season. Let's all help out, man. We all need the help right now.
I don't know what to say. Let's take a break, everybody.
Yeah, that's the right. What you say is well said, Gianni. Have a great day.
Yeah.
We'll
Thanks
talk
for
to you next
having me,
week.
guys.
We love you, bro.
This weekend, Gianni the Greek went 11-1 in the NFL, topped by his 5% big move on the Denver Broncos. On the season, Gianni is ranked number 1 in the NFL and up 125 in profit behind a 59% winning percentage over 299 releases. Right now, you can lock in all of his NFL selections through the regular season for $199. As an added bonus, we will include the playoffs and Super Bowl for free. To take advantage of this offer, just go to Gianni's expert page and purchase his NFL special for $199, locking him in all the way through the Super Bowl. No coupon is needed for this special, but this is a limited time offer, so act fast.
It's time for Big Game Breakdown. Let's talk the Raiders and the Chargers Thursday night NFL. We're seeing the money come in on Las Vegas so far in early betting action today. Right now, mostly 3.5s out there. Last night, it was mostly 3s out there. So the money has moved towards the Raiders in early betting action today. Total sitting at 52.5. There are some 53s out there. And look, there are a lot of injury concerns for both of these two teams. For the Chargers, certainly Keenan Allen is still a question mark for tonight. That offense does not work the same without Justin Herbert's leading receiver. We have Denzel Perryman downgraded to doubtful. Adderley's downgraded to doubtful. Mike Williams is going to be out. Balaga is going to be out. Those are significant injury concerns for the Chargers, but Trey Turner on the offensive line has been upgraded to probable, as has Austin Eckler. So those are good signs. But for the Raiders, you want to talk about a defense? This is a Raiders defense that has had issues. All right. There's no question they've had issues. But it's official now. There's not going to be any Cleveland Farrell. There's not going to be any Damon Arnett. Nicholas Morrow is not going to play. Jonathan Abram is not going to play. Henry Ruggs, not expected to play this evening on the offensive side of the football. It's a Raiders team that's been, I mean, let's call it what it is. They've been outplayed in each of the last 3 games. You know, Atlanta killed them, Indy killed them, and they were lucky to beat the Jets. You know, they came away very lucky to beat the Jets. They're playing their worst ball of the year right now, which is kind of what they did last December. And the defense, with all the injuries, new coordinator, they fired Gunther after last week. They're coming off a game in which they literally had an NFL season low for any team. 1 pressure, no turnovers, no sacks. All right. A demoralizing loss, a fired defensive coordinator. It's not like Rod Marinelli can't coach a defense. I'm sure he can. It's personnel, not scheme. Then you read some of the quotes from the Raiders. You know, we were in a situation where we had to score a touchdown every time we had the ball, it seemed, this John Gruden. You get to a point where you second guess everything you're doing offensively every time you punt. It's tough right now, but you have to stay confident in your players, that your players are going to put it together. You know, Derek Carr after the game, quote, when you need a win against a team you're battling with for a playoff spot and you don't get it, it really rips your heart out. That's coming after the game on Sunday. Short week, team not feeling real good about themselves. And here's a Chargers team that finally got off the schneid last week. And I know it was Matt Ryan making bad throws, but it was also the Chargers defense with 3 second-half interceptions, including the one that mattered most near the end of the game. It was Justin Herbert's first fourth-quarter comeback win of his career. You know, Austin Eckler, talk about how they've been losing all the games, and now they didn't. We've been struggling in that category, and it feels good. You know, I understand the Chargers have been losing close games. It's what they do. I understand that the Raiders are a playoff team and the Chargers aren't. I think 3.5 is a little bit high for this one. And I understand the Chargers' 4 wins this year are Cincinnati, Jacksonville, the Jets, and the Falcons. They haven't beaten anyone. Maybe they beat somebody tonight. Lean here is towards L.A. plus the 3.5. I don't want to lay with the Las Vegas Raiders. There you have it, Prez. Big game breakdown. Back to you.
Thank you, brother. And I don't want to lay with the Las Vegas Raiders at all. Cheerleaders, I'm in. Ralph's got some incredible information on what has happened in teasing the Chargers over the last little while. You can hear that on the NFL presidential address, but I'll probably suck it out of him as he comes on the show. Guys, 89 likes. That's not a lot, man. This has been an incredible show. I think this has been one of our finest shows in at least the last 23 hours. So please hit that like button. Teddy, Gianni, Dave, Cokin, Ralph Michaels. Also, guys, to all the people who have taken advantage of Teddy and my odd couple offer, thank you very much. We're keeping it up. Make sure to buy the 2 of us $119 for a week. You get both of our plays. I got a 5% play in NFL on Sunday. I'm in action tonight. Teddy's got a big card coming up. Perfect time to buy both of us. $119, no promo code required at all. You just literally head over to WagerTalk.com and purchase that package off of either Teddy or my page. Ralph Michaels, the pen. Are you ready?
Hey guys, you know what? I wanna echo Gianni's sentiments because it's tough to follow when someone's so humble and so sincere. So, congrats, Gianni. Instead of promoting something on yourself, you did a great job promoting it. And Foursquare here in Las Vegas does an awesome job. Prez was talking about the San Diego Chargers, now the LA Chargers. I say that because I bet on it. I think I've said the Washington Redskins the last 8 times because I just can't get used to the Washington football team. So the now LA Chargers, if you played them in a teaser every game this year, if you played on them, you're 11-2. If you played against the Chargers on a teaser this year, you're 13-0. So just playing the Chargers blindly, you're 24-2 on the season. So, you know, we talk about the Chargers always playing close games. Fading them this year and being 13-0 shows just that. The angle of the day. We know Arizona State just crushed Arizona. So how do college football teams that covered by 50 or more points since 1989, obviously. So I'm going back 32 years, guys, and there's only been 54 teams that have covered by 50 or more points. Those teams have actually gone 59.3% against the spread. So then I just wanted to look at how teams do after 70 points, after scoring 70, not knowing the margin. Numbers right around the Mendoza line. Teams are 52.8%. The over-under is 48%, meaning 48% to the over, 52% to the under. So nothing on the 70-plus points, but I was actually a little surprised, Teddy, that a team covering by 50 or more has hit almost 60% the last 32 years.
So to me, that's a very meaningful number because it speaks volumes about the way that I try to handicap. All right. My whole concept is what teams are not being priced correctly in the markets, and let's find those teams. Let's ride them 2, 3, 4, 5 times, as opposed to just trying to get one win out of each team. And when you're saying, here's a team, they covered the spread by 50, and they're still undervalued the following week, it says, hey, maybe there's something to that methodology. So because this clearly shows teams that cover by 50 points, way exceeding the marketplace, are good bets the following week, not bad ones. And it says, hey, maybe this marketplace isn't quite as efficient as some might think it is.
And, after watching the Monday night game, I watched it with Marco, with Brian, with Hakeem, and with Drew. And I was a screaming banshee for my hometown Cleveland Browns. I had no betting interest in it, but so I wanted to look at how teams do after scoring a significant amount of points and losing. So do we take anything out of it? So, Teddy, I typed in 40%. I said, wow, that's a good number. Typed in 38%. I said, wow, that's a good number. So then I did a chart, and we're going to show the chart. And, of course, again, it's color-coded, easy to read. So you see that teams that scored 37 or more points and lost their last game in the NFL, positive except 1 and 2 if you scored 40. And look at the very bottom in that green highlight. If you say take teams in the NFL that scored 37 or more points, they are now 65.6% the next game. As strong as you get as far as the number's concerned. But if you look back at the 35 and 36 points the game before, Teddy, does that take something away from it? Or do you think there's something with a margin where we could say, okay, 35 and 36 are a negative number. You win 37 or you score 37 or more, it's more of a positive. So is it an anomaly or is it just a transition to a number that's actually a decent number that makes sense?
I mean, you're not talking about a really negative subset with either 35 or 36. They're both, one's 16 and 20, the other one's 4 and 6. So you put them together, you're 20 and 26. It's not a good for your bankroll, but it's going to destroy my bankroll type of result. But the concept here to me is, when you get to that 37 point, I'm not going to call it barrier, but you're clearly talking about a team whose offense is working in one way or another. And we like to focus sometimes on the defense that gets stops. But when you have an offense that works in the NFL, it goes a long way towards bouncing back off a tough loss. This, to me, looks like this puts that in numbers that make sense, that a better offense off a tough loss more likely to bounce back than a better defense off a similar type of.
Would, if I told you those numbers going in, if I just said to you blindly without looking at it, Teddy, how do you think NFL teams do scoring, at least 5 touchdowns or more and lose the game? Would you have thought it was a 66% angle?
No, I would not have, which is why I'm glad you ran those numbers, because it makes a whole lot of sense.
Nor did I. I was
Cleveland this week. It certainly gives some fodder for those who are looking at the Browns minus the points at MetLife this Sunday.
I was surprised as well. So same thought, and again, guys, between Teddy and I, we're talking 80 years of handicapping, and you still are surprised by numbers. That's why, number one, we don't bet on hearsay. We don't bet on what we hear at the bar. We run numbers, or we find out people that can run numbers for us and bet the facts. And that's exactly what we're trying to provide here on this show. Again, anyone that has anything that they want run, follow me at Twitter at CalSportsLV, and we'll see if it's good enough to make the show. Friends of Ralph, we're going to Buster Sports. Don Buster. Don spends part of the year in Mexico, part of the year up with Prez in Canada. Listen to this. Don is on an 11-2 and 17-4 college basketball run. This is one of his actual plays today. It is one of the extra board games. Game 307, 149, and 150. Over 151. Houston Baptist in North Texas. Houston Baptist is a team that everyone would score 100 plus on them last year. They slowed the pace a little bit this year, but they still are trending to the over. So Buster Sports, thank you, Don, for the Friends of Ralph play of the day.
You know, Ralph, I'm glad firstly, you won your Friends of Ralph play yesterday. I think 6-1 run. I'm the only loser in the middle of that mess.
No, I believe it was marked as a loss on Tel Aviv. I looked at WagerTalk, and I did not follow the game, but I looked this morning, and it was an L, unfortunately. But still, again, a good run, and it's great to get exposure for these guys. We have so many good handicappers among Sports Memo and WagerTalk.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that you're talking about Don Buster at Sports Memo and some of these Sports Memo guys. I mean, the show's called WagerTalk Today, and you know, obviously, I know where the sales go. Like I see the books. I'm one of the owners, and guys, Sports Memo. I mean, this team that Gianni and assembled over the last 3-4 months. I mean, it's just outstanding. Do not sleep on sports. We've got runs at Sports Memo. Buster, 17-4 college basketball run. Ben Burns is on a monster college hoops run. College football, we're killing it over there. NFL, Matt Joseph, just having a monster season. Seriously, every day you should do 3 things. Watch WagerTalk Today, visit WagerTalk, and visit Sports Memo. Those are the 3, and those are the 3 things you should do on a daily basis. That is for sure. What a show, boys.
Prez, I want to jump in. I want to jump in 1 second, Prez. Let me add one more thing that I think we don't talk about enough that I think is the most incredible value. Number 1, we list the last 20 plays. So you know exactly what everyone had, win or loss. But if you go on anyone's page, click on their last 20 plays, you can read their write-ups.
Yeah.
I learned so much going to WagerTalk, going to people's pages, reading Tony Mejia's write-ups in college basketball, reading Cokin, reading Brian. I mean, it is just, there's so much knowledge that you pick up reading plays. It doesn't matter if you won or lost a play. It doesn't matter if you bought the Bay or bet the Bay. Those are still available for you to read and learn from. And there's so many experienced handicappers. The knowledge there is just incredible for you. Make sure you soak it up.
Awesome stuff. A huge thank you to Dave Cokin, Gianni, Ralph Michaels for joining us. For my co-host, Teddy. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to keep hitting the thumbs up button. Leave comments. And get Teddy and my's Odd Couple special, $119 for a week, both of us. To Joe Ranieri, dude, you're making the show better every day. Thank you. Teddy, take us home.
Sure. I just want to hear you try to suck something else out of Ralph before the show is done. That's not necessarily the analogy I would have used. Thank you so much for watching.
Way to bring it up again, dude. Way to bring it up again.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the games. Good luck tonight. We'll be back again in 23 hours right here on WagerTalk Today.
From all bowl games through the college football national game, WagerTalk and Sports Memo have you covered. Get every college football release, including any $40 5% best bets from the handicapper of your choice for the special early bird price of $149. As an added bonus, we are including the rest of college football regular season for free, a $69 value. Just go to WagerTalk or SportsMemo.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and lock them in through the national championship.